Content warning. This video contains a content warning that warns about the contents of video game content warning. Am I giving a content warning about the warning? That's stupid. Why would I do that? Howdy doody everyone, Wambu here. I'm indulging in my hyperfixations once again. Hoo-ha, hoo-ha. I've been a YouTuber for a long time now, and I needed a way to prove to you guys that I do, in fact, have friends. And yeah, we sometimes game together. It's fun and hilarious and erotic and fun. That's why I've given myself the challenge of releasing 3 videos covering 3 different comedy co-op horror games in the span of 1 month. If you're watching this video well past December of 2025, then I've hopefully released videos on both Repo and Lethal Company. But the subject of this video here is content warning. If you don't know content warnings, they're those things that show up at the beginning of movies or shows or games or videos that warn you about potentially distressing material. And if you're a fucking loser, you're supposed to be really mad at these for no reason. But if you don't know content warning, it's a co-op horror game developed by Landfall, a Swedish dev group that releases all their games on April Fool's Day. This year they teamed up with Aggro Crab to bring us Peak. But last year they brought us content warning. Up to 4 players with video equipment and a big hulking diving bell leave their colorful sky island to sink themselves into the depths of a dangerous and abandoned monochrome ruin known as the Old World, risking life and limb for what exactly? Peep the title. It's because they're warning-brained. Wait, warning? No, the other word. Yeah, content. There we go. It's for content. Come on. In an almost lifelike parallel, for me specifically, the goal of the game is to film the creatures of the old world in the shittiest video quality possible to become famous spooktubers.
Fuck!
The gameplay necessitates direct engagement with its bizarre crop of freak shows, also known as entities, so they in particular have to strike an exceptional balance between the scary and the charming. So that's what I'm talking about. The 5 entities that to me do it better than the rest. Any rules? I can only think of one. Rule 1, my patrons are the coolest. There's nothing I can do about it, okay? That's the rule. Seriously though, huge thank you to the hundreds of ghosties that make my job possible. Their names will be in the end credits. Link to the Patreon is in the description if you want to join, but you're welcome to hang if you just want to hang. I'm glad you're here regardless. With that, it's time to get the film rolling. Man. So if you're new here, hi, I'm Wambu, and this thing is me. In fact, it's my avatar for the rest of this entry. My mother was an M134 machine gun from 1963, and my father was a Cocker Spaniel. As you can see, man's best friend, the dog, has combined itself with man's worst friend, the Second Amendment. Still, someone had to notch a spot on here off raw charisma, okay? It's just the nature of content warning. A lot of the entities in this game make me want to run on site, but sometimes I just want to hold a mic up to them and ask them about the State of the Union. The problem arises when the dog you're trying to interview is perpetually cocked and ready.
Excuse me. How do you feel about the State of the Union?
A cursed sentence, but an accurate one. The gun dog is a simple beast. Don't let it see you or else you're gonna speedrun the eternal nap time. The devs are being very mean to me and other dog people by making this thing as dangerous as it is. Cause like, I love this guy. He's so silly and fun and he'll kill without mercy and his smile is adorable. I see gun dog and I suddenly have to make a really important decision. Say hi to the doggy or live to get shot by a different doggy. Somehow the scales in my mind just never seem to tip.
Matt,
What?
come over here for a sec.
It's been a segundo. Oh!
I'm guessing most of you watching have probably never tased my friend Met before, but you can probably tell from this footage I'm showing that it's very fun. I promise it's worth it, even when karma inevitably swings back around. Let me tell you something though. It's not as fun when we both have a mutual bully. Number 4 will shock you. So if we're all spooktubers, what does that make this guy? A Twitch screamer? Sometimes when I'm especially unfunny, it pushes away those who are closest to me. Like Met, for example. Anyway, viewers, meet you and Conan. Conan, meet the viewers. Technically, his name is not confirmed by the devs, but he literally has voice lines where he straight up says, "What's up, Chad? My name's Conan." So like, that better be his name. Killing me and all my friends I can tolerate. But using an alias online, unheard of. How dare you? My name is Wambu, by the way. Just felt like reiterating that. You and Conan is very cool thematically. Dude's just messing around in an attempt to entertain an audience, just like you. The difference is he's a streamer, so he's evil and a murderer. That might be too easy of a joke. Be nice, Wambu. There's plenty of murderers that don't stream. Now, disappointingly, Conan is a little on the simple side. When I saw him using the shock stick, I thought he was going to use Content Warning's other unique items against us, but he doesn't really do anything else. It would have been awesome to see him pull me in with a rescue hook or beat me to death with a party popper. Still, he's a pretty awesome foil/parallel to the players themselves, so I respect it. Game recognized game is what I would say, if not for his career choice. Oh, poor Ewan, your job is so hard. You have to entertain a live audience and tase me at the same time. Try writing a script, motherfucker. In my relatively early hours of playing this game, by total happenstance, I encountered a monster that I assumed was pretty rare. And as more time passed without me encountering it again, I couldn't really remember if it was real or if I had dreamt it into existence. I remember the camera was blinking and making really strange noises, and then I saw it. This tall figure with multiple legs and a glowing eye. And then I was dead. I asked some of my other friends if they encountered anything like that before, and none of them had, but one of them had heard about a creature that may or may not exist in the game, known as Flicker. From that point on, I basically became the foreshadowing madman of my friend group.
Oh yeah, Flicker, it's real alright. All you need is one good gander. All you see is red, and then it's lights out forever.
I don't know if they believed me, but to be fair, I never tried using that voice on them. Anyway, that experience made me paranoid as shit. If the camera made a weird noise or something, I would freak out, and thankfully my support network would immediately shoved me towards imminent danger, as all good friends do. I kinda hoped Flicker wasn't real, because it would be funny if I was just freaking out over nothing, but also if it was real, I would definitely have to put it on this list and spoil its existence to you guys, and that'd be a bummer. Eventually though, I caved. I had to learn the truth of the matter. So I finally looked it up, and it turned out that it wasn't real at all. Yeah, it was all fake, and this video doesn't even have a number 3 entry. I decided to skip it, so we can move on now. Okay, I know I just got done telling a whole ass story, but it's story time again. Have a nice little seat. Get comfortable. Okay, that's a fucking order. I cracked my knuckles. Why did I do that? This one time I was playing with my 2 buddies. We'll call them Panda and Johnny, because that's what they're named. Unpause my video, Johnny. Unpause my goddamn video. Johnny, Panda, and I were exploring the old world one day, but we weren't really finding any entities, so Johnny resorted to just filming me picking up random stuff on the floor. All of a sudden though, they both yelled and ran away. I looked behind me, but nothing was there. I didn't really think anything of it though, because this was actually a glitch my friends and I had encountered before, where everyone would see a monster except for one person. Here's this exact thing happening to my buddy Ed.
Oh no! Do you see the snail man now? You don't see him! He's grabbing you! You don't see him!
Feel it?
Am I dead?
So on my end, nothing was there, but on their end, I might have been decapitated like 3 times now. Eventually, I caught up with them, but they started to ask these really weird questions. Where's Wambu? Is that him? Are you in there? This was different. Either I was being trolled or something spooky's going on. They couldn't seem to understand me when I told them it was me, so I tried to move like a player would, spinning and jumping around and all that stuff. Eventually, Panda approached me, but without my doing, my character smacked hers in the face with his arm. The 2 of them concluded that I was indeed hostile, and they ran away from me, which is fair. I just punched the shit out of Panda. I chased after them because I wanted to show them it was me, but as I approached the diving bell, I just straight up died, and so did the other two, but for unrelated reasons. We woke up back in the home world and they could understand me again. Panda and Johnny were both like, hey, what the fuck happened to you? And I had no idea what to tell them. We were able to retrieve the camera from that outing though, and I was finally able to see what they saw.
Where's Wambu? It's still Wambu?
Wambu is now the mushroom man.
You got that? No, he's hostile, he's hostile, he's hostile.
Okay, he
He
is
just hurt
hostile.
me.
Yeah, turns out I was the bad guy in this game, and I had no clue. But now I get to land on one of my own lists, so I guess it works out. For real though, this creature is known as a shroomer, and if you're as inclined to pick up everything you find on the floor as I am, then you might find yourself becoming one of them too. And entirely depending on the trollishness of the person you're playing with, this could be either the most harmless or most threatening entity in the whole game. In my case, I am only a danger because I like my friends, and I want to be near them, even if it engages my automatic violence mode. For most people, this won't be a difficult thing to play around, especially if you know it exists. And while I didn't really want to spoil this either, I'll be damned if the Shroomer and its incidental enabling of PvP didn't make for the most memorable experience I've ever had in a co-op game. Having said that though, we're still left with one. We gotta do honorable mentions first though. Alexa, play Ghost Groove.
Eat shit, Candle Dick.
Oh my god. He's the basic boy, but I like him. First time you see him is kinda scary, but after that he just sort of becomes endearing. Pretty cool Weeping Angel type monster, and only really a threat if my friends don't know how to read a CAPTCHA. Just hit the I'm not a robot button, please! I love this guy. He's so silly and he gets embarrassed if he misses too many times. It's awesome. He would have been number 5 if this game didn't have a dog. The single toughest monster to deal with in the whole game, capable of killing everyone in seconds. Honestly, he's a little too broken. He's super imposing and powerful, but getting wiped by this thing feels just, I don't know, cheap. Still kinda neat though. Another pretty cool and rare entity, but I've yet to be able to tell a fun story involving this guy, so honorable mention it is. Look, just remember to bring a flashlight, okay?
Oh, there he is!
30%.
Somehow unrelated to the last guy? Okay. This guy's cool. It takes advantage of the fact that this is a co-op game, so its MO is to kill one guy with one other guy. Plus he makes for moments like this.
Holy shit!
And now for number 1. Alright, finally here at the number 1 entry. That means I can finally talk about my favorite entity in the game without doing any more of this dumbass story time bullshit. So this one time I was playing with my buddies Ed and Met, the same guy I was tasing earlier. Once again, we were having a pretty uneventful time in the old world until I end up getting separated from the group because I accidentally fell in a big hole. This is a common occurrence for me. So they were like, he'll be fine. He'll find his way back to the diving bell. That's how Ed sounds. I got kinda low on oxygen and ran into a few hiccups, but I did indeed make it back. I waited in the diving bell with the hatch closed so that no monsters could jump me. I hear my 2 friends coming back and everything seems okay, but then I hear a noise. It's brief, but it's as if someone turned on a stove or a Bunsen burner or something like that. I open the hatch, ready to welcome my friends again, and what do I see? They're both dead, and everything's on fire. Okay, which of you goobers is responsible for this burning hellscape?
The fuck are you looking at?
Look, I know. Video games have got their fair share of fire turtles already. Pokemon has like 2, Zelda kinda has 1, World of Warcraft has 1, Mario is always beefing with that one guy, and Content Warning has 1. Still, I'll concede, this concept, it's been done. You hear that, loser? This is a totally unoriginal way to kill me. More than any of those comparisons I just made, this to me feels like someone looked at the Fury from Metal Gear Solid 3 and said, yeah, we can make an enemy do that. It's not even the most difficult thing to avoid or anything, but encounters with it are straight up cinema at the best of times. And in my experience at least, the best of times has been a fuck ton of times. It shows up and within seconds your surroundings are up in smoke. No wind up, no telegraphs, you were in an empty building, now it's all burning. As you run away, everything behind you is being quickly enveloped in flames, including maybe some of your friends. And if you're able to distance yourself enough from it to get a good look, what you'll see is a tall, imposing silhouette staring back from the burning wreckage it created. And depending on the number of victims and what valuables they might have been carrying, you may just need to head back in its direction. Look, it was really cool turning into a paranoid lunatic or being made into an unknowing mushroom villain, but especially in games like this, time desensitizes you to everything. So if by the 5th encounter or so, I'm still just as excited as the first time, you've made an enemy worthy of a Wambu top spot. I don't even have a joke or anything. You're just in the melting shithouse now, and it fucking rules. And that was content warning. So overall thoughts. Between this trio of co-op horror games I plan on covering, content warning feels like the black sheep in both a good and bad way. On one hand, it's by far the least polished. It has the most glitches by a mile when conditions are entirely dependent on whether the monsters in this game even decide to show up. And for a game all about recording content, it's counterintuitively a very tough game to balance audio around. What it gets right though, it excels at. As a content creator myself, I love having such an accessible way for my friends to shine comedically in their own goofy ways.
I firmly believe that hamburgers should not have rights. We eat them too much for them to have rights.
But cows, man.
And when the game actually decides to throw its own original scary stuff at the player, it's excellent. It's kind of inverse to how I feel about a game like Repo. Whereas that game has a great core with an overall mass selection of enemies, content warning is dodgy and kinda jank, but the variety, presentation, and inventiveness of its enemy design is top-notch. It's a pretty uneven game, with big splashes of brilliance broken up by boring runs ending in whimpers. But if you're the forgiving type of gamer especially, I think the old world is definitely worth the occasional dive. Aight, we good? We good. I can't believe I had to say all that just for a measly content warning. Now I can finally do the real video. All elements of the periodic table ranked. What kind of weeaboo motherfucker came up with goddamn manganese?